Anthony Richardson's career is in serious trouble with the Indianapolis Colts. Now, last night, Indy, they went against the Baltimore Ravens. It was the first preseason game for both teams. Now, the preseason, it does matter, but to a certain extent. When you have a quarterback that has more interceptions than passing touchdowns in his career, you want him to go out there and to find a groove and to get into a rhythm. Because AR, he is still young into his career. The plan was for him to go out there and start the entire first quarter, and then they'll slide in Daniel Jones because there is a quarterback competition right now in Indy. But you look at this play. Anthony Richardson gets lit up. A lot of people, they're saying that this is all on the offensive line, why the Anthony Richardson did not have little to no time inside the pocket. It's not on the offensive line. This play was designed to get the football to the running back here. The running back is wide open. Look at this screenshot right here. If AR just looks towards the running back side of the field, dump the football down, or just throw the football away and spike it to the ground, he wouldn't have had gotten hit by David Ojabo. But he doesn't have that awareness. And this is the problem with AR. So many analysts came out when he was coming out of Florida, and they were saying that he could be the best quarterback in football if you develop him the right way. But let's just be real here. He should have never been a first round pick. And I've said this in the past. And I don't want to come on here and make it seem like I'm just picking on AR when he has bad moments. This is a quarterback. He can't protect himself. This is not the first time to where he's got lit up like this before. And we've seen Justin Fields get hit like this before in a preseason game. And the same with Kyler Murray when they were going against the New York Jets last year. The awareness is not there for Anthony Richardson majority of the time. That's why he's dealt with so many injuries. Now, he's lucky that it was just a dislocated pinky, and I hope that he can recover. But we're talking about a quarterback here. He missed majority of his rookie season. He hurt his shoulder, and he suffered a concussion in year one. Gardner Minshew had to finish out the rest of the year. We go into year two. AR hurt his hip against the Steelers in that matchup. They had to put in Joe Flacco. And he tapped out of a game because he was tired at that time. These are all bad looks on AR all the way through. And when you look at his college numbers, he never had that one breakout season to where he looked like a franchise quarterback. When we compare him to other first round picks like Bryce Young and CJ, who went in the first round with him, the same with Joe Burrow in the past, and even Cam Newton. All of those players, they had consistent moments and consistent seasons in college to where they looked like greats on the field. But AR never looked like that franchise quarterback coming out of college. And you can bring up the Josh Allen comparison. How many quarterbacks have been like Josh Allen that came out of college and they needed a lot of developing and they became the best quarterback at that point in time in football? It hasn't happened. And when I look at Josh Allen was a very good player at Wyoming. He had consistent moments at college. It was just a smaller school. You look at Lamar Jackson, you can't compare Anthony Richardson to Lamar Jackson coming out of college. Lamar Jackson won a Heisman Trophy, and he was a better passer coming out of college. The reason why AR got drafted, he had a very good deep ball, and he still does, and he's bigger than the majority of the people on the field. So the Indianapolis Colts, they were desperate. It's been a revolving door at that quarterback position since Andrew Luck. You started games with Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, Jacoby Brissett, Sam Ellinger. That's just to name a few. Gardner Minshew. So they were desperate for a big physical quarterback that could go out there and they could change the direction of their organization. And the reason why I'm really giving up on Anthony Richardson right now, he did not get placed into a bad situation. The Colts, they have a lot of good pieces on the offensive line and the same at the skill position. You have a very good running back and Jonathan Taylor, who's a top running back in football when he's fully healthy. He can easily average over 1,200 rushing yards in a year. He had 1,400 rushing yards last season, 11 rushing touchdowns, averaging 5 yards a carry. When you select the quarterback in the first round, 9 times out of 10, unless you trade up, they're going into a bad situation. This is not a bad situation for a young quarterback or for any quarterback in general. And you look at the head coach that you have. The reason why Shane Steichen got this head coaching position was because of the work that he did with Jalen Hurts the year before with the Philadelphia Eagles. He got them to the Super Bowl, and he helped Jalen Hurts have that massive contract. He's part of the reason why Jalen Hurts came into the scene and he looked like a top quarterback at that point in time in the NFL. And you look at someone like AR, you'll say, well, he's physical, just like Jalen Hurts. But this is the problem. Jalen Hurts was not a natural passer at Alabama. They went with Tua. Jalen Hurts goes over to OU. He works with Lincoln Riley, who is a quarterback guru at the college level, who got to work with Caleb Williams and the same with Baker Mayfield. I look at this situation right here with AR. He's never had to work on the fundamentals of playing the quarterback position. He doesn't know about blitz protection. He can't protect himself in the open field. He's constantly getting hit. And just because you are the biggest guy in the field, majority of the time, doesn't mean that those defenders, they can't break you down. We're seeing this happen right now with Anthony Richardson. You look at him, he's 6'4", 250 pounds, but every single time he gets hit, he stays down for a couple of minutes. It's hard for him to get up the next play. And that shoulder injury has really set his development back even more. We talked about them having a very good offensive line with pieces like Bernard Raymond, who's a very good player at the left tackle position. Braden Smith, a very good player at the right tackle position. Quentin Nelson, very good left guard, one of the best guards in the game. The wide receiving position, Josh Downs is a very good football player. Michael Pittman Jr. is a very good player as well at the wide receiving position. And they have A.D. Mitchell, who they drafted last year coming out of Texas. He had some struggles his rookie season, but look at the quarterback battle. You had Joe Flacco and you had AR. I would not start Anthony Richardson to begin this season. I would go with Daniel Jones because there's a lot of pressure right now on Shane Steichen and the rest of his coaching staff to get this fixed. For the ones that don't know, the Colts, they have not won this division since 2014. We've seen the Tennessee Titans win this division multiple times. The same with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. This is the odd team out. That was 11 years ago. And they did make the NFL playoffs with Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers came in and he did the best that he could. They went 11-5 in 2020, but they still were not able to win this division. And you go 9-8 in 2023. And I look at Shane Steichen, I do believe that he can coach his butt off because the work that he did with Justin Herbert, with the Los Angeles Chargers. You were just one game away from making the NFL playoffs with Gardner Minshew being your starting quarterback. It came down to the running back dropping the football late in that matchup. So I don't have the questions about Shane Steichen. As a head coach, maybe he's not cut out for this job. But it's hard to get a clear read on him when you have such a bad quarterback in AR. And I look at someone like Daniel Jones, this may be crazy to say, he's your best option that you have. And I look at Daniel Jones, I don't think that he's a franchise quarterback. I don't think that he'll ever be a top quarterback in football. He shouldn't have been drafted in the first round either coming out of Duke. But when I look at Daniel Jones, he has the fundamentals. He has decent athleticism. He's not the same athlete as AR. And I want to dismiss this argument as well. When a lot of analysts come out and they'll say, well, Anthony Richardson, he has wheels. He does, but he's just not this electric player in open field. He doesn't have the same explosive plays with his legs like Lamar Jackson and the same with Josh Allen. He's not blazing fast in the open field. He was known for being this big threat that can move downhill and run over defenders. You do this every single week, you're going to be put on the IR report. And we saw that his rookie season. His body can't hold up against physical pressure over and over again, and he's terrible against the blitz. I look at Daniel Jones here. He's coming over from a bad situation with the New York Giants. His best offensive player was Saquon for majority of his career. His offensive lines were always terrible. He didn't have a true number one wide receiver until his last year with New York, and they had Malik Neighbors. That was it. I look at Indy and the weapons that they have, like I mentioned before, Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, those are very good football players. A.D. Mitchell, there's a lot of upside there. I think that he's going to be a star wide receiver in this system. And they drafted Tyler Warren in the first round with a decent offensive line up front, a very good offensive line majority of the time, and a very good running back. You're not asking for Daniel Jones to go out there and carry your team. You're asking him to go out there and manage the game and put the football where it needs to be. And right now, he's a better player than Anthony Richardson. And if you want to use him in the run game, you can. We got to see what Daniel Jones can do at a high-end level when they made the NFL playoffs with him and Saquon and that first year with Brian Dable. I would go with Daniel Jones here. Now, the throw power is not there because he did suffer neck injury a number of years ago with New York. But he knows blitz protection. He can get the football out quick. He's not going to stare down wide receivers on a consistent basis like AR. He's done that before in the past. But once again, when Brian Daboll let him use his legs, a play action system that you can run with Daniel Jones, especially with Jonathan Taylor being alongside him, you take a lot of pressure off of him. He can win those one-on-one opportunities on the outside. He's a read and react quarterback. AR just can't do it. And maybe you sit him down for this year and you go back to AR. Maybe he could possibly be a star in the future, but I doubt it. I'll throw the flag on this situation. I'll just give up because he can't stay healthy. You're getting knocked out of a preseason game and they wanted you to start for the entire first quarter and you couldn't make it out. Look at who's starting next week. Daniel Jones. And that was always the plan. If Daniel Jones goes out there and he looks significantly better than AR, that should tell you everything that you need to know. Even if Daniel Jones doesn't look significantly better than Anthony Richardson, if he just does the little things well, that should get him the starting job. Regardless, it's going to be a tough situation for Indy. We've seen Daniel Jones at his worst. He's one of the worst quarterbacks in football, and the same with Anthony Richardson. Right now, they don't have that answer in that room of a guy that could go out there and carry the franchise on his back. Maybe Daniel Jones could have that redemption arc like Geno Smith, like Sam Darnold, how they had with their respective teams, and the same with Baker Mayfield, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm rooting for that to happen. I want to see this division be competitive. You look at the quarterbacks in this division. You have Trevor Lawrence with the Jacksonville Jaguars, CJ with the Houston Texans, Cam Ward now with the Tennessee Titans. And there's a lot of pressure on this defense. They cut Gus Bradley. He's no longer a part of this roster. He's no longer their defensive coordinator. You now bring in Coach Lou from the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals had one of the worst defenses last year. Was that because of personnel or was that because of Coach Lou and his bad coaching at times? We'll see. But I look at the defense that the Colts have on paper. They have some solid names that I do like. I like Kwity Paye. He's a very good pass rusher. DeForest Buckner is one of the best defensive tackles in the game. He was dealing with injuries last season, and you have Grover Stewart. Laiatu Latu was a very good player his rookie season. You expect for him to get better. Samson Ebukam, he's coming back after missing all of last year, dealing with an injury, but he had 9.5 sacks and 3 forced fumbles the year before. So the pass rushers, they're there. Zaire Franklin is a very good tackling linebacker. He's known for being a tackle machine. 93 solo tackles last year. 3.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions. He's one of the most slept on players at that position. The secondary, they do have some problems there, but they just have to stay 100% healthy. And you did bring in Cameron Bynum, who's a very good player at the free safety position, coming over from the Minnesota Vikings. And you have Charvarius Ward, who's a true number 1 cornerback, coming over from the San Francisco 49ers. Had a down year last year when he's dealing with a lot of problems off the field. And I wish him nothing but the best moving forward with the problems that he had off the field. Indy has talent, but this is a situation to where it comes down to that quarterback position. Hopefully they figure this thing out. And I am rooting for Indy. It's not a situation to where I want to see Indy fail. I'm tired of seeing this team in particular have this revolving door, and it has been hard on everyone in that building because of the recent passing with Jim Irsay. Rest in peace to Jim Irsay. But even before he passed away, it is so hard to go out there and find your quarterback of the future, and they had that with Andrew Luck, but they never protected him up front. They never put pieces around him to protect him. So when he retired, it shocked everyone, and they didn't have a clear plan. So I do feel for the general manager on that end. But when you draft this wild card, Anthony Richardson, who never has had a consistent good season, this is what can happen. So hopefully this is a learning lesson for a lot of teams in football. You can draft these developmental quarterbacks, but draft them in the 2nd, 3rd round. Don't risk a 1st round pick on these players. And they try to install a system around AR. And if you don't believe me and you're saying that this is still in the offensive line, look at what former quarterbacks had to say, like Alex Smith, the same with Kurt Warner. They're all coming out and they're saying that this is all in Anthony Richardson. This is day 1 install. The blitz protection was not there. This could have been a serious injury. This could have been a head or a neck injury, the way that he got hit. And once again, it's not all in Anthony Richardson. We've seen other players do this before in the past, like Justin Fields, like Kyler Murray. But that's when they were younger in their career. We've seen this happen numerous times now with Anthony Richardson, even at the college level. But they did such a good job at hiding his weaknesses with a bunch of RPOs, a bunch of post routes down the field, because his deep ball is insane. And what teams are starting to do, they'll play that cover 2 man. We're going to make sure that you don't beat us over the top with the weapons that you have. And we're going to put a lot of pressure on you. We're going to put different twists and different stunts up front. And when we run that pressure coming off that side, that's definitely going to hurt you. That's going to hurt your offense. If you don't have the wherewithal to look around and scan, because the reason why he got hit once again, he's staring down wide receivers. And this is just the preseason. This is a very vanilla play by the Baltimore Ravens. Imagine if this is week 1 and you go against one of those top tier defenses. This is why the interceptions are happening. This is why the fumbles are happening with Anthony Richardson. He doesn't know how to play the quarterback position at this level. Sit him down for at least a couple of months and then go back to him. You can say, well, it hurts his confidence. It's hurting everyone else's confidence when he's going on the field and he's looking like this and he can't protect himself. 11 passing touchdowns to 13 interceptions in 2 years. And it's not because the Indianapolis Colts have a dropping issue every single year. It's because you have a quarterback that can't pass at an elite level and he doesn't have the awareness to work in today's game. But let me know in the comment section below, who should be the starting quarterback week 1 for Indy? Should it be Daniel Jones or should it be Anthony Richardson? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God